Joining us is Anthony Bazanka, Computer Support Technician within TLT and the person responsible for supporting our Echo360 system. Welcome, Anthony.
Hi, Graham. It's great to be here.
So what's the answer to our quiz question? What's a vodcast?
So a vodcast is very similar to a podcast, except that instead of just getting the audio, you're now also getting to see the full PowerPoint or the computer's screen capture on your iPod as well or other portable device.
So it's one of the default formats that people can look at. What are the other ones?
Right. It's one of the formats that the Echo360 will automatically generate for you. It's the Echo360. The Echo is what I've been calling it, is the rich media version, which has got the video. And when I say video, I mean the video camera. So where you see the professor walking on the stage. Okay. Then it has the computer display, and it has the audio from the microphone or whatever else is feeding through our system at that point. Okay. And then we have the podcast, which is just the audio, and that's something that you subscribe to as well. And the vodcast, which is the computer display and the audio, but not the video of the professor.
So what equipment do the students need to look at this?
So you can view it on any kind of laptop computer, a normal desktop computer, a portable device like an iPod or an iPhone, other kind of MP3 players that you can download the file onto and play as well.
So that's an important distinction. Many people think of a podcast as only being viewable on a Apple iPod or iPhone. Is that true?
It's not true. A podcast is basically a form of something that you could subscribe to. And iTunes is a very popular program for subscribing to a podcast, but there are many other programs that will subscribe to it. An RSS feed is really what it is. It's a link, it comes down, you get it, you download the file onto your iPod or anything that plays in MP3, which can be any MP3 player that anybody makes, and you have it and you can play it.
So, for example, I have my BlackBerry here, and that's also an MPEG-3 player. So I could put the recording of Bill's lecture on this and listen to it on the train on the way to work or whatever.
Right.
Okay,
and what's great about the vodcast too is that you can watch the entire presentation right there on your device.
Right, because it has a full screen.
Yeah.
Okay. In terms of, we've rolled this out in most of the large lecture halls on campus. Is there a limit to how far we could expand this system?
There's no limit as far as how much we can buy and how many devices we can put out there. It's a limit on networking. There's a limit on how much equipment we're going to need to do it, but it's very scalable. Other universities are doing it at a very large scale. Okay. So.
And one of the things we didn't mention was it's viewable both on a Mac and a PC. It doesn't matter which platform you're using.
Correct. You just need any browser with the Flash plugin.
So what do we do in the classroom? We've talked about the end user's equipment. What does the institution need to do in each classroom to enable this? Right.
Well, you have to buy the appliance, which is what Dr. Collins referred to earlier. And once you have that device in your classroom, depending on how the classroom is equipped, if we have a classroom that is already sending a signal to a projector, we can tie off of that signal to get the computer display. If there's already an audio system in there, we can tie off of that mixer to get the audio. Cameras, there's usually not a camera in the classroom, so that's something we have to look at installing later on if it's even necessary. But it's nice to have the camera too. Okay.
So let's say I'm a faculty member, I'm already teaching in one of these classrooms that has the appliance. How do I go about getting my class recorded?
So you would just request it through us, and we set up the schedule in the system. And once the schedule's set up, it pretty much does everything by itself, which is what I love about it.
Okay. So a faculty member wouldn't have to come in and press a button to say start and press a button to say stop. It's purely based on the fact that we know what your teaching schedule is and we automatically record it. You have nothing to do.
It's fully transparent to the instructor.
The only thing you have to remember is use that microphone, because that's the only way we're getting the audio.
Right,
so in the smaller classrooms, it's not as obvious that you need to use the microphone as it is in the large ones, but you would have to for us to capture the audio.
How much training do you think a faculty member would need to get started?
You would just have to go in and teach a class. You really wouldn't have to be trained at all in the system.
Just as Bill said earlier, remember to repeat student questions. But in terms of the technology, you don't even know what's happening.
Right, pretty seamless.
Okay. Well, thank you, Bill and Anthony, for being on the show.
Well, thank you.
If you have any questions for either one of our guests, please feel free to visit the TLT website at tlt.stonybrook.edu, where you can post your question on our blog, where we'll also post the direct contact information for both of our guests so that you can communicate with them directly. I'm Graham Glynn, and I hope you'll join me next time for another exciting edition of Innovations in Education.